You may have heard we had a big storm come through, Hurricane Milton, which went through that Central Florida area right along the I-4 corridor. Well, I got out the day after it went through to take some after the storm footage, and other than a lot of the rains coming and getting high water in both Spanish Springs and Lake Sumter, which I will show both in the video, Ocala had a lot more damage. This here is Spanish Springs, right off of Spanish Springs Square where Hacienda is. You can see the water is quite high here. There's obviously significant flooding to this area, and there is definitely significant flooding to the Lake Sumter area where Lake Sumter Landing and the square are both located. Now this happens pretty much every time we have a hurricane down here in Spanish Springs. The water levels rise and it gets super high here right around this Veterans Memorial Park. This is where they race some of those boats and things like that. But it's always interesting to see, and the trees are covered all the way up to the leaves. From what you can see, the water does get high, close to 441 as well, along with covers some of the stairs over at Hacienda, which we'll see in just a couple seconds. And again, this is just right by Spanish Springs Square. It didn't stop too many folks from getting out and about and going to see what was going on. We got into Spanish Springs Square about 10, and people were starting to come out. All the shops were closed. There wasn't really anything going on in the square, obviously, except for a few people scattered around. What we did see was cleanup crews obviously underway, cleaning up a lot of the debris in the area. A lot of palm fronds, a lot of leaves blown down, some branches and things like that. But other than that, not too much. Like I said, cleaning crews were cleaning up and getting after in the parking lots, making sure that the debris is all taken care of and everything looks good as new. Probably by tomorrow, you won't even be able to tell that a hurricane went through in this area, except for maybe some of the water damage. Residents are being urged to place storm debris such as shrubs, palm fronds, bushes, twigs, branches, and small cut limbs placed in piles unbagged 3 feet from utility boxes, poles, fire hydrants, and other obstacles along the curbside for pickup. And that is where they will come and pick up all your debris when they come around to clean up everything. Now you do have the Hacienda over here where you're working with really high waters, and you can see that it covers the steps here. Now what I will tell you is in this area, anywhere out of the major cities, you had a lot of people helping each other out, going out with chainsaws and pulling some of the debris out of the road. This can be dangerous because you get these things with power lines coming down. The waits at the gas stations were absolutely absurd. Luckily, we have an EV, so it's not that big of a deal. But to get any food, snacks, bathrooms, anything like that, the traffic going back south for all the people that evacuated was pretty crazy. You can see around this little outpost hut here, the trees fell over. Just a lot of wind damage and obviously flooding, especially in this area. Again, you can see it from the other side, the tree falling down around the building. And you see a lot of leaves in the road and just loose stuff, debris out in the road, waiting to be picked up as well. The water at Spanish Springs was red by the Harold Morse statue. These are some of the debris photos that I took around Ocala, Bellevue area. You can see a lot of power lines down. The gas station thing got ripped off. There was a tree across this house. Just several things like this all across Central Florida. Power lines. We didn't lose power over here at our place. A lot of people in Marion County, especially on the northern end, and some in the villages, lost power, but they were able to get it up going within a few hours. This is that dock over in Spanish Springs off of the Veterans Park area. And you can see that's underwater. And we are going to take a look at the Lake Sumter dock that is underwater now. So back in May, the project-wide advisory committee members, they met, and this was earlier this year, according to Villages News, and they were planning to redo this dock for around $3 million. It's been all rotted out and things like that. Well, you can see right now it's underwater. You can see the flower pots. That whole area is typically above water, and it is the boardwalk. The gazebo is absolutely destroyed, which you will see later in this video. I'll fly over that as well, along with some boats that are totally submerged and some things like that. There was a lot of people out in Lake Sumter Landing actually looking at these areas, getting pictures, and I'm sure they were posting to social media the caution tape there so nobody walks down. There was a gentleman walking on the cement barrier on one of these videos past the caution tape. Just a lot of people out checking things out, and they want to get out of the house after being cooped up for a day or two. Similar to COVID, kind of like when you were on lockdown and then you were allowed to go outside. You see just a bunch of people getting out and enjoying the weather. It was a little breezy after the hurricane, but all in all, very nice day. It was nice, cool temperatures. You can see the guy there walking on the cement. I don't think he's supposed to do that, but I don't know. It's crazy. Here's the Lighthouse restaurant. The dock there you can see is going down into, it's now a swim up restaurant, if you will. So if you wanted to swim up and check that out, you're more than welcome. I did notice over here there's some dirt that's going away from these areas, and erosion, it looks like, from all the wind and rain last night that we got from Milton. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I don't think it's typically like that. You can let me know in the comments if it is. But there's a lot of that going on. And one gentleman mentioned he doesn't think the golf courses will be open for a few weeks as they get the water off the fairways. You can see some of these bridges from the Arnold Palmer course is up. The water is up almost to the bridge. I don't think that'll stop people from playing golf, definitely, but they're pretty saturated, and I don't know how that's going to play out. Currently, local officials are assessing damage in the wake of Hurricane Milton. The biggest issue in the Tri-County area appears to be power outages. Seco Energy and Duke have reported numerous outages in the area. Across Florida, more than 3 million residents were said to be without power. That is incredible. Sumter County shelters reportedly took in hundreds of residents as well as their pets. The shelter at the Sumter County Fairgrounds is filled to capacity last night as of 6 p.m., and officials reported a degradation in mobile phone services overnight. I can tell you today, when I was out, it was hard to get signal in the areas where, typically there's not much signal anyway, but it was really tough today. They were encouraging everybody to stay home last night and this morning as they were out trying to get the power fixed and all of those things. The southbound lanes were closed this morning between mile markers 280 and 289 due to unsafe travel conditions. So that's pretty significant if you think about it. And that was a turnpike that was closed. They never close the turnpike unless there's a serious accident or something like this. I'm going to go ahead and link to villagesnews.com in the description. That's where I'm getting most of this information from. You can see the dragon boats there, and again, their dock is totally submerged. The boardwalk that goes all the way around the hotel is submerged, and we're going to take a look at the gazebo that completely blew down here shortly. There's also a boat here that I didn't realize was even there, even though it's a decoration. It's completely submerged, and I didn't notice until Natalie pointed it out to me. You can see it right there. I had no idea. Otherwise, I would have flown closer to it and actually over it so you can see the outline. Here's some of the debris from the gazebo blowing up on shore here. And along the boardwalk, there's more of the debris from the gazebo. And then here is the actual gazebo itself. You can tell that it has totally been blown over. You can see some of the people in the background taking videos and photos and things like that of the area. Incredible. Share your stories with me. How did you make it through the hurricane? Thank you for watching. And as always, I will see you in the next one.